Here's the 4 different archetype of exes and how long it takes in no contact for each one, depending on their attachment style. Hey, what's up? I'm Coach Benny, and I help people get their exes back. And before I did this, I was a dating coach for 5 years where I had to pay attention to how to create attraction in other people. And I used that experience to help you get your ex back. Now, it's important to notice the archetypes of exes so that way you can kind of figure out what to do, how to handle it, and if you have to go into no contact, how long it's going to last. So there's 4 of them. There's secure attachment style, and there's 3 insecure attachment styles. And we're not really going to talk about secure here in this video, but as far as the insecure ones go, the first one is the dismissive avoidant. The dismissive avoidant is somebody that's been emotionally neglected in childhood, and they're going to keep you at arm's length in the course of the relationship. They're going to have low self-esteem. Oftentimes they'll be depressed or anxious, and they're going to feel like they're not good enough for you, and they're not going to open up about their feelings. This is somebody that's very independent, and this is somebody that gets very defensive very easily. They take everything that you say as an attack because they feel like they're broken already. And a lot of times they're people pleasers. With a dismissive avoidant, depending on the length of your relationship, you could be in no contact anywhere from like 3 to 6 months, depending on what's happened, depending on all the circumstances. The next archetype is the fearful avoidant. The fearful avoidant is somebody that's been through some kind of emotion, some kind of abuse in the past. Abuse or trauma. So it could be emotional, it could be mental, verbal, physical, sexual. It could be, like a big trust break that's happened to them. Okay, it could be exes cheating, things like that. And they trauma respond in the relationship. They overreact because they're getting certain stimuluses of danger, and then they freak out and they want to run away and put their walls up and protect themselves. These are usually the kind of people that fight in conflict. A lot of times they won't drop the issue. These are people that go through your phone and they want to know where you were at Sunday at 6 p.m. and this kind of thing. And they're always waiting for the other shoe to drop, for them to get hurt in the relationship. Fearful avoidants don't repress their emotions the same way that dismissive avoidants do after a breakup. And for that reason, they take a little bit less time in no contact. But sometimes, you could be in outlier cases, you could be in no contact with a fearful avoidant for a long time, especially if you've cheated on them multiple times or something like that. It could take upwards of 6 months. But a lot of times, fearful avoidants, no contact anywhere from, a month all the way up to maybe 3 months. Again, it just depends on your story, how long you were together, and pretty much just everything that's happened. Now, the last archetype of insecure attachment style would be the anxious preoccupied. And the anxious preoccupied is somebody that was either abandoned in their youth or they had a parent that was kind of hot and cold with them in some way. And so this has created anxiety for them because they don't know when they're going to get love. And these are the type of people that don't stand their ground in conflict. They roll over, they give in because they're so afraid of experiencing abandonment like they did in their youth because they're uncertain if they're worthy of love or not. And so they don't stand their ground in conflict. They roll over and give in. Now, an anxious person, a lot of times if they break up with you, a lot of times it's because they've kind of morphed into the fearful avoidant. They're putting their walls up. They're sick of getting walked all over, this kind of thing. And if they're a fearful avoidant, go back to the last section that we just talked about. But if they're truly an anxious preoccupied and for whatever reason problems have come up, maybe you've just neglected them or pushed them away or something like that, you really don't want to leave them alone for too long. An anxious person is going to rebound pretty quickly. They're going to go get their needs met by somebody else. And, you don't really need too long no contact with an anxious person because they're pretty much ready to just resolve things right away and come right back and have you meet their needs again. Now, if you want some help figuring out what your ex is and what you should do and how long you should give it, etc., click into my profile, click this link, set up a call with me, and let's talk.